Hello, I'm reading for you Judges chapter 6 verses 14 to 16. The Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you?" "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." The Lord answered, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." Gideon replied, "If now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me. Please do not go away until I come back and bring my offering and set it before you." And the Lord said, "I will wait until you return." That's it. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning, everyone. Sunday, 10th of May. For the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a little talk on the same theme as what Johnny and Dad are doing for the main service. So I'm going to use their readings and just have a little thought on that. As well as this little talk, there will be resources that you can do on the reading at home and a little bit more things to do, activities, things to think about, discuss in your families. You should, if your mum and dad are on my email list, you should get a weekly email every Friday with various bits and bobs on it, and I will include the Sunday materials on that. If you are not getting that email and you would like it for your family, please get in touch. It just means I don't have your email on my list. So please get in touch and I'll send you the materials. I hope that they help you and you enjoy them. And for now, we're just going to have a little think about the passage from Judges. Now, this passage is very short. It's just a couple of verses, and it comes from the story of Gideon, and the story of Gideon is much longer. And if you are someone who loves reading, then I encourage you to read the whole story of Gideon because it's brilliant. Okay? Or if you can find a storybook of Gideon or a little video of Gideon, the story of Gideon, all of which I will put links on in the email that you can have a look, then watch a video about it or read a little storybook, because the story of Gideon is so good, because it is about a young lad, and it's about a lad who God chooses to do amazing things through. Absolutely amazing. He defeats armies, all sorts of stuff. And the best bit about him is that he doesn't think that he can. He doesn't think that God has picked the right person. He thinks that he is too young, that he's too little, that he's too much of a scaredy cat. And so also, he likes to have a little chat with God about it. So he's worried that he's not good enough, but he's brave enough to talk to God and say, actually, God, I don't think I'm brave enough. Why are you picking me? I'm littlest. It says I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the weakest. I'm not important. I'm not special. I haven't got superpowers, And he says that to God. So he has a conversation with God. I think Gideon is a really great example of somebody who has a two-way chat with God, a relationship with him. So it isn't just God says, do this, and Gideon does it. Gideon talks back. They have this conversation. They have an amazing interaction with each other. And Gideon will say, actually, God, just about that, I'd just like you to show me this, or I'd like to be sure that this is what you're saying. Could you just wait for me, God, while I do this? Could you just show me this sign? And if you read the story, I haven't got time to go through it all now, but there's a couple of examples where Gideon challenges God a little bit in a good, very respectful way and just says, God, help me here. Is this actually you? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what you're saying? Because I don't feel like I can do this. I think you might have got this wrong. And the best thing about Gideon is once God has said, no, I haven't got it wrong. By the way, God never gets it wrong. Once Gideon is convinced that God has not got it wrong, he does what God says. He goes, okay, fair enough, God, I hear you. And he cracks on with what God asks him to do. The thing about this verse, this little chunk that I really like, I'm just going to grab my Bible. The bit I like the best, okay, is verse 15. It says this: "But Gideon answered, 'Pardon me, Lord, how can I save Israel? My family group is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least important member of my family.'" So he's really setting out his case here for why he is the wrong person for the job. Excuse me, God, not only am I the wrong person for the job, but I'm going to tell you why I'm the wrong person for the job. And he sets it out. And listen to what God says to him in verse 16. He says, "The Lord answered him, 'I will be with you. And it will seem as if you are only fighting one man.'" That's because God had told him that he was going to go out and defeat a whole army, a whole nation of people from the Midianites. He says, you're going to go and you're going to have the strength to save the people of Israel. Go save them from the Midianites. That's what God says to him. Go on, Gideon. And Gideon says, "No, I'm the wrong person for the job. This is why." And God says, "Go, I am with you. I will make it seem as if you're only fighting one man." And if you read on in the story, you will see how God helps Gideon to defend his people and to fight the Midianites, and how they get rid of the Midianites. And he says, "I will make it as if, because I'm with you, it'll be like you're only fighting one person, not a whole nation." And what he means there is that he's bigger than the situation, that God is bigger than the situation, bigger than the army, bigger than, and so because he is with Gideon, it will make it easier for Gideon, because what it will do is, he's like, actually, you've got to do nothing, Gideon. You just do what I say. I'm going to do the hard work. Okay? And if you read the story, it's really great stories, particularly if you like a good fight. If you like a good fight, read the story. It's a good, really good. They sneak up on them and in the middle of the night and they scare them. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Read the story. But the key is, it's not Gideon doing it. It's God. It's God who does the hard work. Gideon just has to be obedient. That means he has to do as he's told. And he has a little chat with God about it, and he says, "God, I'm not sure." And God listens to that, and he says, "Okay, Gideon, I hear what you're saying, but I'm telling you, if I'm with you, you'll be fine. I'm going to do it. I am going to defeat the Midianites. You have just got to do what I say." I don't know about you, but doing as you're told is not one of my strongest abilities. I quite like doing what I like. I quite like doing things my way. Sometimes the things in life that happen to me, and I find myself in a situation, where God says, "Come on, Lane, we're going to do this. Let's do this." And I say, "No, God, actually, let me just have a chat with you about that, actually. Not sure. I think probably best if we do this." Or, "No, I'm not doing that because that's scary." Or, "It's difficult." Or, "It's not something I like to do." And you know what God says to me? He says, "Lane, chill out. I am with you. You can do this. My way is the best way. My way will mean that things will go well." And when I finally shut up and listen to God and do what he says, then it does turn out all right. Sometimes it's hard. Gideon still had to be brave. They still had to creep up on the scary big army. They still had to go and fight them. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you've got to do something difficult. But God is with you. He's with you. And when he's with you, and when you're doing what he says, when you're following his plan, then it's like that difficult thing becomes easier to do. Not because it becomes easy, and this is tricky, so you've got to get your head around this. It's not because the thing becomes easy, it's just easier because God is with you. If you think doing something really hard on your own is really, really, really hard, doing something really hard with somebody is a bit better because you've got someone with you looking after you. Somebody to share ideas with, somebody to talk with. Now, if it's good, if there's another human with you, think how amazing it would be having God with you instead. People are good. I have friends that do stuff with me, and it's better. It's good when they help me. It's good. But when I'm doing stuff with God, he's so much bigger, so much more powerful. If you read the story of Gideon, God shows his might and his power. And it's amazing. So, what can we learn from this? We can learn that even when things are difficult, God can help us. And sometimes, even if God's plan feels a little bit crazy, we've just got to go with it. Follow his plan because he will help us. And that is why being a Christian isn't always easy, because sometimes we have to do hard things, or we have to do things that we don't want to do, or that we think are a bit mad, but God said to do it. And so if we do it, things will be okay, just like they are for Gideon in this story. Okay.